Hello, I am Pallavi and you are watching Indian Masterminds. We are celebrating World Wildlife Day today. In the past few decades, the issues related to wildlife conservation have sparked several debates and movements. At the same time, wildlife tourism has also gained currency. According to a research by the World Travel and Tourism Council, the wildlife tourism directly contributed over $120 billion to the global GDP and employed 9.1 million people. Animal conservation and tourism are linked. When one falls, the other falls with it. So, is the increased wildlife tourism blessing for the conservation, or does it hamper the efforts? Why speculate when we have expert with us today to discuss this topic? To discuss this topic, we have with us Field Director and Conservator of Forest Bandipur, Dr. Ramesh Kumar P. Member Secretary, State Planning Commission, Ms. Sudha Raman. Deputy Conservator of Forest, Maharashtra, Mr. Umesh Udal Verma. DFO, Middle Andaman, Dr. Abdul Qayyum. DFO, Abhinav Kumar of Zero Arunachal Pradesh, and Wildlife Warden of Arunachal Pradesh, Mr. Damodar Eti. I welcome you all. Thank you so much for taking out time for this. So I'll start with Ramesh sir. I wanted to know, is wildlife tourism really helpful in conservation or is it a hurdle?
No, I will start with the thing. Yes, of course, we can't say it's not helping anymore. And especially during the current scenario and current pattern of funding. Yes, the wildlife to tourism, the two things mainly. One is whatever we have done a good work, which we can show it to the others. Means now this year we are celebrating 50 years of the Project Tiger. You might be knowing this year. So it's one of the world's most successful conservation program. One thing is we want to showcase the whatever we achieve to the public in terms of tiger tourism and all. And second thing, yes, we need the resource. We cannot conserve anything. We can protect and conserve anything without resource and means for funding. So we do, because I want to tell one point. The Nagarole conservation plan, the tiger conservation plan was written by me. I only wrote the plan. That time we were very fresh from the academy and fresh from the WIA, Wildlife Institute of India, and we want to conserve, protect. We were so conservative. I written the thing. We keep the carrying capacity of the park very low, very, very low. And still the Karnataka is follow a model which is very high, very responsible or in low profile to tourism in Karnataka. But now I am sitting in the chair of field director. Now I know the one side I have seen, the other side now I could see without resource you cannot do anything.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I want to tell you one more point. This year, NTCA, the National Tiger Conservation Authority, has approved our 22-23 plan just 25 days back. 1st of February only they approved, not even releasing money or giving money. So 10 months we didn't receive not even single paise till just 1 week back received. So now our country are very happy to declare so many tiger reserves. And you see on the other side how much money we are spending for a tiger reserve. That the budget or contribution towards a tiger reserve going it's come down 40-50% come down drastically. But the tiger reserve numbers are going. We are very proud to declare so many tiger reserves. It was 47, 50, 51, 53 now. The budget is going half away. So in this background, I want to tell, yes, tourism largely contributes the resource of a individual park. But here I want to have one point. It should be responsible tourism. There should be a line. There should be a Lakshman Rekha. How much you want to do, what level you want to take the tourism. Being responsible, we need a resource. Thus, this tourism so much helpful to the each individual park.
Tourism has increased in the past decades. What do you think is the reason behind this? Like, too many, specifically the youth, are really inclined to, go to jungle safari and all. So, what is the major reason, according to you, Sudha ma'am, that it has
Yeah.
increased?
Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Ramesh sir, he rightly said that we are in need of resources. And to reply to your question, I feel that the presence of the media, okay, the media, I think the role of the media has been really huge and immense, which is one of the main reason for the public, to be aware of this wildlife areas as well. And we have a kind of an awareness by means of the social media too after in the recent years, and especially after the pandemic, when the entire world was like shut down. I think that was a kind of a call what the people had got to go towards nature, back to nature. So I think these are all the various reasons that we have right now, wherein the people in the city, especially the people in the urban areas, they really want to have a kind of an vacation, go back to a place which is like filled with forest, wildlife and all that. And second reason is the affordability. Okay, the tourism industry as such is being really picking. We have got lots of improvements in terms of tourism within the country and outside the country as well. So people traveling between the states or within the state or traveling outside the country is also increasing. The affordability and the opportunities what they get because of the work environment in which they are presently placed in also is one of the main reason why people are looking back to forest, trying to get associated or to go there as a vacation. I think the role of the social media as such and all things are really huge. And secondly, the awareness also is also one of the main reason. The visibility of the work what the forest department and the forest officers have been like doing has yielded a kind of a good result. For example, sir also rightly told that we are having a pressure of increasing the number of tiger reserves because the tiger population is steadily increasing. So there is a kind of a visibility of the work what the department is doing, which is also one of the major reasons for it.
Okay. Okay, I'll come back to you again. We have Jagdish S. Bakan sir also. He is DFO Ramnathpuram, Tamil Nadu. Do you think the increased tourism is affecting in a bad way also the conservation effort? In your any experience you can share?
As far as our experience in Gulf of Mannar is there, we are operating to ecotourism in the national park as per the norms given in the management plan. So whenever you are operating ecotourism in protected areas, there has to be a proper guidelines. So they will study the carrying capacity of the protected areas, and they will ensure that the local community is also involved, so that this benefit will percolate to the local community also. So as far as that concerned, we're following this guideline. So currently, we are not facing any side effects like any troubles.
Yeah.
Arising out of this tourism. Yeah.
I want to ask Abhinav sir, do you think that since the tourism is slightly inclined toward tigers and big cats, so other conservation efforts for other species have been sidelined in any way? If yes, then please. If no, then also please elaborate.
Yeah, sure. So a very good afternoon to all the members present here. Use the word sideline would be a very, very, very strong word. It has definitely not been sidelined. Yes, I mean, in any kind of planned scheme or any kind of mission, you have certain outliers which are usually the flagship species, so to say. That these particular species are more, let's say, focused, perhaps because they are more charismatic. And if you look at a tiger is also sits on the top of the ecosystem. So in a way, there's a reason why we focus more on the tiger. And if you know that there are these many tigers present, then you know the entire ecosystem, the entire triangle that is working properly. But coming back to your question, definitely not sideline. Qayyum sir is here. He'll tell you a lot of good examples about Chandigarh and how butterfly-based tourism is being focused over there. If I talk about Delhi right now, then we are focusing a lot on the bird species, especially bringing back the sparrow in Delhi, which is the state bird. If you talk about Arunachal Pradesh, then there's a lot of focus on protecting bird species and bird-based tourism. So there's a wildlife sanctuary called the Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary. And people don't visit Nest Wildlife Sanctuary for tigers or any of the big cats. They visit it for one particular species. It's called Bugun leucicla. That is an endemic species found only in that region. If you talk about Periyar Tiger Reserve in Kerala, then Periyar Tiger Reserve, the night safari, the bird watching tours that they do, they are more popular than actually watching a tiger. So I would say that while tiger-based tourism or tiger-based efforts, they gather headlines in the media, but in reality, if you see on the ground, then there is an equal or equitable distribution of focus, both fund-wise and also effort-wise, on all the important species, whether they are bird species. If you talk about Odisha, then we talk about marine wildlife conservation. And that the same is there in Andamans or also in the Gulf of Mannar, which was being talked about. So definitely not sidelined. And yes, I mean, all the species are definitely being catered to.
Yeah. Okay, sir. So since you mentioned about Qayyum sir's effort in increasing bird tourism and all, so I would like to know his experience also. Like, how can we ensure, as a forest officer, you or your team, how can they ensure that people come to visit all sorts of animal? Because obviously this will increase, this will help in their conservation. So how it can be, managed?
Hi everyone. So I'll take this question from the point which was just thrown by Ramesh sir. That is a responsible tourism thing. So I feel responsible tourism is nothing but extension of ecotourism, where the current government is currently focusing a lot on ecotourism. We are aware that new policy we are having 202. So a lot of things are happening. Now coming back to your question, I feel that tourism it does not focus only on a particular species, but largely it highlights your attempts to gain opportunity of recreation. For example, if I quote case from Chandigarh or maybe from Andaman, so in Chandigarh we developed something called Butterfly Park, where we get sizable number of visitors every day. In fact, we have got a very small sanctuary in Chandigarh called Sukhna Wildlife Sanctuary, where we have to restrict the number up to 100, looking at the carrying capacity factor. So people beyond that number is not allowed, though we are getting a lot of application, a lot of requests. And incidentally, Chandigarh has not got any tiger or leopard. I mean, leopards are there. They're very less in number, maybe 1 or 2 pair, but no, certainly not tiger or lion. So what I'm saying is people are looking for some avenue, some opportunity where they can come out of their homes. They can go to forest area. They would like to explore even water bodies also. If I take example of Andaman, here people, I mean, we are having hell lot of tourism, if I can say. So it is almost flooded. So our almost all national parks and sanctuaries are full of people. So here people are coming not for certainly for tiger or lion or maybe elephant, but people are coming here to see the marine life or the aquatic forms of other forms of life. So what I feel is tourism basically is an avenue or provides an opportunity where people can come out of their homes, the places where people are actually bored. They want to come out and to celebrate the nature, different forms of species, different forms of conservation efforts, or different kinds of wetland or flora and fauna also. So I feel, in fact, there are a lot of people I have come across where people are more interested into watching certain kind of birds. And maybe they wanted to visit forest area to explore certain unique plant. In fact, I'd like to quote one example from Arunachal Pradesh. Avinav, I hope you remember, there was one plant we found somewhere in jungle, something called Himalayan Rafflesia. That was a unique plant. So a plant probably that has got almost half kg weight. So the moment it came to light, a lot of people were found to, I mean, they were venturing out into the forest areas to find out these plants also. So I don't think that tourism these days is focused largely towards tiger or lion or some key species. It is probably towards a place where you get something to see, some opportunity where you can come out of your home. I think.
Sir, adding to your example, sir, you would remember the rhododendron park in Tawang.
Yeah, of course, I forgot that. So yes, based on that, we also developed a concept called rhododendron park. So we did nothing but basically we got different kind of rhodos in a place called Tawang. We collected from different trees and we planted in a particular locality. We named it park. So now that is also, I came to know that a lot of people are visiting these parks also. So basically the idea is to generate an opportunity where people can go and explore the nature.
Yes. Right. So
Yeah, Pallavi, I want to mention one point as I
yes,
told.
sir. Yes.
Fine, this is whatever the tiger is it's a very charming species, very charismatic species. And here I want to mention about our role. We have to create awareness among the public, the visitors, tourists about other wildlife. Even some other birds, even coming to the Bandipur, I should ensure that they should come with fully focused on tigers. If we don't sight tigers, they should be very vexed. They should be very disappointed. I should make them said it's not only tiger. So we have to create awareness among the visitors. So where the interpretation center in interpretation of every park is very important. So we have to create among the visitors that you enjoy all the even reptiles, birds, even what are the animals, the birds you see, even some other plants, rare plants of the area. So it is we have a role to play here.
Yeah, right, sir. Okay, now I would like to ask Umesh sir, like just now Kayum sir mentioned that the national parks are flooded with tourists, and we have seen videos of tourist jeeps surrounding tiger. So do you, matlab, can this shouldn't this be there shouldn't be a restricted number of people who should enter a national park at one point of time, because I think too many people might affect or might make uncomfortable the species also. So what is your take on this? Should the number be regulated, the number of tourists, or not?
Yes, is there already. We don't need to do anything. There are carrying capacity concepts are there everywhere. We do
Okay.
tourism based upon carrying capacity only. Our Bandipur carrying capacity is a 31 vehicles per day. 31 vehicles morning, 31 vehicles evening. This is our maximum carrying capacity. We run 26 vehicles only.
Okay,
Okay,
so it's
but the
already in place.
we are within carrying capacity, and now this year I am purchasing 5 vehicle already purchased. It will come to 31 vehicle only. So what I'm telling is, but the way we calculate carrying capacity, it varies from place to place. And say example, I want to quote one tiger reserve, Kana Tiger Reserve from MP. Kana runs 187 vehicles, 187.
So
187 vehicles
yeah,
per day they are running. Where
yeah.
we stand, where they stand. And Ranthambore again you go, hundreds of vehicles. Todoba you go, seas and floods of vehicles. You can see at a time around 30, 40 vehicles. But if you come to Bandipur, if you go around, in the entire 2.5 hours time, you may come across 3 to 4 vehicles max. And if I see a tiger, so it will be with 1 or 2, 3 vehicles will be good. So what I'm telling is already the carrying capacity concept are already there. Again, as I told you, we are want of resource. We need resource. We want to increase the carry capacity and all. But the line, as I told you, where we stand, the Reka, Lakshman Reka, where you want to stand. You want to be responsible. At the same time, you want to earn some revenue for the park. Where already we are doing it, but it's based on how you are utilizing this one.
Yeah. So right now you mentioned that Kanha and Ranthambore are having 100 vehicles or more than 100 vehicles. So is it okay? Like, what is the correct number? Can you give me if this at this
Yeah,
point of
it's all
time?
the calculation I do. It's all the calculation matters. And as I told you, I have written totally 9 plans, 1 tiger conservation plan, 8 management plans of different parks. Where we stand, even then that Nagarole, it was 27 vehicles, which we slightly raised to the 41 vehicles. 41 vehicles. So it's all the calculations, how much kilometer. Say example, I want to mention how the things has been manhandled in the sense how we handle the thing. There is a calculation which takes upon how much kilometer of the roads you run, how much kilometer, okay, and how much road get wear and tear. During the rainy season, how much of the road get eroded or any problem. So based on all these factors, between one vehicle to other vehicle, how much distance you want to keep it. These are some factors which take into account. We calculate the carrying capacity. Okay, some of the park, even I don't want to mention the name, and again I don't want to think. Some park take, if there are some roads going in an area, we take that entire area so that we calculate we have to less than 20% of the area of the park size. It is a maximum allowed area for a tourism area. But some park calculated only the road width only. Length of the road width only, they calculate the carrying capacity. Since they are saying, even though I'm going in a road, I'm not utilizing other area. The side of the areas I'm not utilizing. They take only the road width and length only. So they run throughout the park. The roads, the road width and the length, if you take, they can take only, they can take maximum 20% of the park area. So they run through the core area.
Yeah.
So that's how they manipulate some of the calculations. So, but we have to be within a limit only. As per the NTCA guideline, maximum we can run 20% of the area you can utilize for ecotourism, for the tourism.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yes, and Pallavi, adding to what sir has said, actually this excessive tourism, ecotourism thing, that has also been looked by Honorable Supreme Court, and it is the Honorable Supreme Court that has decided that 20% of the core area should be made available for this particular purpose of ecotourism. And as sir has said, that carrying capacity has to be estimated, and that is estimated by using scientific method and calculations according to the NTCA guidelines. So no doubt the core area has maximum crowd because people still believe in tiger-centric tourism. But around the core area, there is also what we call as buffer area that also has got good animal presence. So to decrease pressure on the core area, we have to focus on developing buffer areas so that excess of tourism can go over there.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Just I want to add. I want to know a little more about a slightly different issue. Like when we talk about wildlife tourism, we have to ensure the safety of tourists as well as the animals at the same time. So if any incident, there are some instances when any wild animal have attacked tourists in forest. So if such incident, if it might have happened during your service time also. So if such incidents happen, how do you deal with it, and how we can make sure that this doesn't happen again? Because it will definitely affect the tourism. It will affect many things. So.
Yes. So Pallavi, the basic concept here is that wild animal will not attack unless it is provoked. So as there goes a saying that prevention is better than cure. So the important responsibility regarding this lies with the gypsy operators and the guides who accompany the tourist. So for example, in Tadoba, they have taken rigorous training of all these forest guides to request and to help the tourist in behaving responsibly during a safari. And for some reason, like if the vehicles are not sticking to the speed limit, or if they or tourists are indulging in acts which are not desirable, then such gypsies and such guides are fined, and they fined, as well as they are not allowed to operate for at least 1 month. So both preventive and punitive kind of punishment is there. Secondly, if in spite of repeated guides' request, the tourists are not stopping from misbehaving, then such tourists are also fined by the forest administration there. So it goes both ways: awareness as well as proper training to forest guides, and also some punitive measures if and when required.
So I would like to ask you only, Kayum sir, that the major problem in conservation is poaching. I guess you all have to deal with this in no matter which species you want to protect. I read somewhere that illegal poaching, according to WTTC, is $23 billion in industry. And it also said that the increased tourism actually helped to curb this menace. Do you think so? What are your experiences?
Yeah, I think that it's there. So luckily, the places where I was posted, there was almost no poaching. Incidentally, we got just one case in Chandigarh where one case of sand boa was reported. So the gentleman was captured and he was sent behind bars. So luckily, there are no cases where I was posted, but I feel that if people presence are there, so chances of, let's say, invasion or attack on animal will naturally be lower. So these tourists who are there, who are in the field itself, they probably act as watch and ward for the department. So I feel it helps in some way. But yes, of course, there has to be a certain restriction. And again, I'll repeat, take word from Ramesh sir, that Lakshman Rekha has to be properly placed.
Yeah.
So that line one cannot cross, because after all, it's their home. So nobody can invade in their private or personal area. So that number has to be restricted.
Okay. So, Abhinav sir, do you have any such experiences when you witnessed that tourism has helped in, curbing or fighting this poaching thing?
Definitely. Probably Damodar sir will expand more on this.
Yeah, that's why I
So,
wanted to ask him only, because he has a
Yeah.
very good experience in this. So, anyways, you can.
some of us have worked here in Arunachal.
Mhm.
Qayyum sir is one of them. I'm also one of them. And, Arunachal, definitely this example can be, this statement can be exemplified in a lot of places. So one such place is Pake Tiger Reserve, where, the people who have formed communities, who have formed organizations come from the public, and they were the people who were the earlier poachers and hunters in that area. Now, because there was tourism, and if you have tourism in an area, then you also get funds to develop infrastructure, and you also hire manpower, which you take from the local people. So, using this model, Pake has been a very good success story, whereby the erstwhile poachers, they are now, people who conserve the wildlife over there. So there's a program for conserving hornbills, whereby the tiger reserve authorities, we distribute small nests where a hornbill can make its home, and it can breed. So these are distributed in the local villages, and there are different community-based organizations which we have formed. So VFMC is one of them, and and also other tiger reserve committees. So that is working there, whereby you can see that change. Other examples also there. Periyar is a very good example. In early, mid 90s and late 90s, the Periyar was more infamous for poaching and hunting than for any other kind of activity. But the kind of tourism which has come in there has transformed Periyar from being, an infamous place to a place which attracts international tourists. So definitely, I mean, tourism. So not just the tourists, but the coming of tourists increases the infrastructure, increases jobs. It changes the mindset of the people, whereby they realize that, instead of hunting, if they conserve, then they get more benefits. And also they get something which we saw in Arunachal was something, they get recognition from the society. So that positive motivation also goes a long way. So there are a lot of such cases all over India.
Yeah. Jagdish Pakan sir, I would want you to, elaborate this. In your experience, have you seen this, that conservation and tourism both have helped to uplift the life of people who are living nearby the areas, the protected areas?
Yeah. Regarding this, we have actually we need to compare the data actually. So it's very difficult to come to the conclusion that exactly this trend has decreased or something. But we can surely say that this impact, what is the impact of ecotourism, one of the activity or any other conservation activity on the mindset of the people. So I will just quote one example from Gulf of Mannar. It is a 2002 one UNDP project was started here. It is also a biosphere reserve. So Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve Trust, they have started the trust. They are implementing these 252 villages were implementing a community development program. So what we are giving this to decrease the pressure on the biosphere reserve, that is in the Gulf of Mannar Marine National Park and Biosphere Reserve. So we are creating an alternate livelihood opportunity. We are giving them a microcredit. So what we are doing yearly, we are giving like crores of rupees as a microcredit. We are getting it back also. They are refunding to us also, and we are giving them a lot of trainings. Like we have now we have 5 ecotourism points also. So a lot of green jobs has been created. A lot of employment opportunity has been created, and so that has led to the percolation of this awareness. Like those who are doing this business like hunting and poaching of the many marine species, now in the villages we got the clear result that they are decreasing. So, and support of this fishermen to the forest department has tremendously increased. Even we are getting their support in the rescue of the wildlife animals. Like we rescued 77 animals in last 10 months. So that has been possible only because of the support of the local community. So I think it's definitely going to like have positive impact on the awareness and support from the community.
Yeah. So with all the discussion, what I have, I have learned or I understood is tourism is important to support conservation, but there should be a Lakshman Rekha. So I would like you all to conclude, like what are the best way to ensure that the tourism is conservation friendly? I would like to start with the Umesh sir. Kindly conclude in your opinion that how can we ensure that the tourism is conservation friendly, the number of tourists are regulated, and everybody is happy.
Yeah. Firstly, I think that you need to have a proper tiger conservation plan, because ecotourism, uh, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So to my mind, you need to have a proper ecotourism sub plan under a tiger conservation plan. And secondly, whatever your ecotourism prescriptions should be, it should be based on sound scientific principles. Thirdly, whenever you plan, you need to have all stakeholders, including the local villagers, the local NGOs, NGIs over there, and even I would say to an extent the local political people also to have their inputs in having a proper plan to be drafted. Fourthly, I would say that there has to be a kind of awareness creation both amongst the stakeholders of this tourism, and also the general public. For example, when the general public comes for any tourism or safari, they should have a brief introduction of what are their what they would like to see, what are their roles and responsibilities, and in the end how they can be a kind of good ambassadors for conservation. So it has to be a proper mix of good planning as well as execution involving all the concerned stakeholders.
Pallavi, I'll tell my thing. I have to rush.
Okay,
I'm going. Today we are doing the Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. We are doing the synchronized vulture survey. Yesterday, today it has been done. The thing is done. Now the debriefing session. All the staffs and volunteers will be there. Will be waiting. So I have to go there. Just I want to mention that yes, whatever Umesh told, fine, absolutely fine. We have to build the capacity of all the staffs, every stakeholders, and I feel that we have to still increase our capacity, because all the tourists coming to a park should feel good. They should feel very good experience in coming to the park. Still, we are not expert. Our forest department is not still expert in handling those tourists. So we have to increase the capacity of our own staff, those who are handling the ecotourism or tourism. One thing that I want to tell you. And second thing, I want to mention one more point. Those because of this tiger tourism or some tourism in a park, there are so many secondary industries are running. Say example, hotels, so many hotels, shops, so many people are because of this one tourism activity. Because if there is no tiger tourism, the income of this entire thing is zero. It's zero. I'm not selling one person even, because nobody comes. They comes to the Bandipur in and around only to see tigers and to go for safari. So what I'm telling you, these people should also contribute. Resource-wise. I don't know now at present how much these people are contributing towards the park development, something else. I don't know. In maybe some other park they have some type of system where they contribute something to the park. Okay, still in India, it's not been done at all the places. So I'm telling you, so the people coming to the park should feel that enjoy, and they should get the good experience, and they should be trained, or they should be educated to see, apart from tigers, all other wildlife, since it's a wildlife. So, and the second thing, we have to increase the capacity of our own staffs. And thirdly, I want to say that all the people, all the stakeholders of that park should contribute equally to the resource of the park. So that's how I want to complete. And thank you so much. Thanks all our colleagues. So nice Damodaran, nice Umesh, and Kayum, very nice. Please, I welcome you all to the to Bandipur once. Thank you.
If you want to,
Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that can be ensured by having a regulated sort of tourism. For example, in Chandigarh, I was giving one example. So we organize an event called wildlife trekking, where around 2,000 people usually participate. Now, managing to crowd of 2,000 in such a small area is really big challenge. So what we used to do, we developed some online platform where all the details from the participants are taken. And now during the trekking, they are warned. If they are doing something which is not allowed, and list of activities which are allowed, which are not allowed, that are highlighted all across the trekking route. So what I'm trying to say is, if people are informed that, look, this you cannot do. For example, you cannot walk or trek up on let's say on any route which is not defined. So you have to walk only on the defined routes or tracks, so that the things are properly regulated. Naturally, if it is regulated, so it will not have any ill effect on the wildlife and things like that. In fact, मुझे ये भी याद आ रहा है कि हम लोग सुखनावाला sanctuary में we used to release around 600 snakes in a year, which we capture from city area, and they are released in Sukhnawaila sanctuary. So ये भी मैं लोगों को बताता था कि देखो जी, इसमें हमने 600 snake अभी छोड़े हैं. तो अगर आप ट्रैक से बाहर जाएंगे, तो it is your responsibility. So time कभी carrot stick principle we also need to apply. कि देखो जी, आप अच्छे से करेंगे, you are a smart citizen. If you are not doing it, you may have to face the consequence. So somehow we need to balance, and that's probably the job of a park manager. So I think इस तरीके से करते हुए we can probably manage the parks in a better manner, where it also fulfills the need of the local resident or the visitors or the tourists. And of course, it also should fulfill the need of the wildlife, which are the prime resident of the park.
Yeah.
That's all from my side.
Yeah. So you now, Jagdish sir, your concluding words on the entire discussion.
Yeah. After listening to all senior sirs, like almost, I agree with them totally that whatever the measures they have told. So I will add additionally that along with this ecotourism plan and eco-awareness activity, we should have some restrictive measures. Like when we have to check whether which activity is going to affect the more. Like, for example, I will say that in Gulf of Mannar, we started a plastic check post. So in that, whatever the people going to the Dhanushkoti area, we're checking all the vehicles and we're seizing the plastic and we're giving cloth back to them.
Jagdish sir, you were saying something. Kindly continue.
Yeah. Yes, just 2 points. Like apart from the all seniors has already spoken about. So I was talking about restrictive measures like plastic check posts we can have, so that whatever the debris is going to marine areas, that we are preventing in Gulf of Mannar now. Second thing that even Damodaran sir also told, the community development. We started that 60-40 ratio, like 60% of the revenue will go to the conservation of the park and 40% will go to the community. So what we are doing that in Eco Development Committee, we are putting that after 6 months we are getting these revenues, and we are saying the community that what community development work they wish to execute. Some people wants to repair of the community hall, some people wants to construct a bus stand, shade or something. So without community support, this tourism will not be sustainable, because we are facing a lot of protests also sometimes if you are not taking community along with this ecotourism management. So these 2 points only I will like to conclude with. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. And now, Abhinav sir, your concluding words on the entire discussion and how we can really ensure that we focus on the conservation as well as we manage the tourism.
Yeah. I think it was a very fruitful discussion, and ideas from different corners, concepts, and also examples. So I think enough has been said. What I would like to say in conclusion is this is a great effort by Indian Masterminds, and bringing together all the leading conservationists who are there in India from all corners. So such efforts should continue. I think it's a good way to enlighten at least students, future bureaucrats, and also general public. So thank you so much for the effort. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm really thoda sa I'm really upset, or you can say that Damodar sir isn't able to share his views properly. But we hope that we'll connect with him again. So, anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for taking out time for this. It was indeed a great session with lots of information. Thank you very much.
Thank you.